Welcome back, beloved soul of light. I feel the question burning inside your heart, the one that keeps surfacing when everything grows quiet. Have you ever sat alone and asked yourself why the people who were supposed to love you without condition, your own flesh and blood, turned against you for no clear reason? Have you caught their hushed comments, their distant glances, the way their warmth suddenly vanishes when you're near, as if your very being unsettles them? If that pain feels familiar, then hear this clearly. This word is not meant for the masses. It is reserved for the ones God has marked as His own. If you have never sensed the brush of angelic presence, never been startled awake by dreams that carried heaven's weight, never heard a whisper in your spirit that felt more alive than the room around you, then this message will pass you by. But if those holy moments have already found you, if heaven has torn through the veil of your ordinary days, if those encounters left you trembling because they felt truer than anything you've ever known, then understand this: you did not stumble across this video by chance. Nothing in the unseen realm moves randomly. The moment is precise. Divine timing brought these words to your ears right now. You have been touched by something eternal. That touch has branded you. That invisible seal is the reason you feel like a stranger even among your own. That seal is why misunderstanding follows you, why rejection rises from the very people who share your blood. What lives inside you is sacred, and sacred things naturally expose what others prefer to keep concealed. This is no accident. This is your summons. Before we step any further into this truth, pause for a moment. Type 777 in the comments right now if your spirit is already recognizing this word as yours. Just those three numbers, 777. And while you're there, tap the like button. That small gesture carries weight. It instructs the platform to carry this message further, straight to other hearts that are aching for the same confirmation you're receiving today. Share this video with someone else who walks this lonely path. Your act of obedience might become the exact lifeline another chosen soul needs before the night ends. Chosen one, hear this truth deep in your bones, long before you ever opened your eyes to this world. Before your first cry, before your first breath filled your lungs, heaven already set a seal upon you. This is not a mark visible to human eyes. No one can point to it on your skin or trace it with their fingers. But in the unseen realm, it blazes brighter than the noonday sun. That radiant signature commands attention, both from the hosts of heaven and from the forces of darkness. It is precisely this blazing light that sets you apart. It is the reason your own household has always regarded you with a strange mixture of distance and unease. You have carried the sensation of being an outsider your entire life, even beneath the roof that was supposed to feel like home. That feeling is not random. That mark was placed on you before you were born. You were consecrated from the beginning, and that very consecration is directly connected to every supernatural moment you have lived through. The times an angel's presence brushed against your spirit when despair had you pinned to the floor. The nights you were alone, tears soaking your pillow, crying out for any sign, and then the room shifted because heaven answered. The dreams that arrived so powerfully they felt more substantial than daylight, dreams where you could taste the air, feel the breeze on your face, hear voices speaking your name with unmistakable clarity. Those dreams were not random images your mind invented. They were not caused by late-night food or stress. They were heaven's way of speaking directly to your spirit. Vivid, tangible, undeniable. And then there were the quiet, piercing moments when that still, small voice broke through the noise of your life, delivering truth straight into your confusion, your pain, your questions. Every single one of those experiences carries the same signature. They are proof, they are evidence, they are heaven's repeated confirmation that the mark resting on you is real. Because you carry this blazing seal, the people around you, especially those closest, register something they cannot name. They sense light coming from you, yet instead of being drawn to it, many instinctively push back. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the atmosphere change without a single word being spoken? Conversations stall, eyes shift away, laughter fades. Certain family members suddenly find reasons to leave the space you're in. This is not your imagination. This is spiritual sensitivity. You are perceiving what is actually happening in the unseen. Even when you were small, you likely already felt it. You didn't quite belong. Maybe they called you too quiet, too serious, too different, too intense. They couldn't figure out why your mind worked the way it did, why you asked questions no child was supposed to ask, why you noticed things no one else seemed to see, why certain emotions hit you harder and deeper than anyone around you. That wasn't stubbornness. That wasn't rebellion. That was your spirit already reaching for something true, something most people spend their whole lives avoiding. And truth, by its very nature, divides. Truth separates the cold from the comfortable. The mark you carry draws opposition precisely because it shines. When you enter any space, heads turn your way. Even if your lips stay sealed, there is an undeniable aura surrounding you. It has nothing to do with arrogance. It is not about self-importance. It is not an attempt to steal the spotlight. It is simply the clear sign that heaven's touch lingers over your existence, and though some souls might gravitate toward it, pulled in like insects to a glow, far too many, especially those tied to you by blood, view it as a danger. They cannot pinpoint the cause. But deep inside, resistance builds. Deep inside, they feel compelled to shrink you down. Deep inside, they crave for you to dim yourself. Beloved chosen one, hold this close. Matters of the spirit can only be grasped through spiritual insight. Those sharing your lineage might care for you on the surface level, but in the hidden dimensions, dark forces whisper against you through them. Why? Because if those whispers convince you to question your worth, using the sting from your nearest kin, then your true strength gets sidelined. Yet once you grasp that this pushback stems from your sacred seal, it transforms from a burden into a badge of heaven's blessing. Make no mistake, this seal is not something you worked for. It is bestowed. You never requested it. You never sought it out. You never purchased it. You never earned it through flawless actions or spotless living. It was etched into your fate long before your lungs drew air, before your parents even dreamed of your arrival, before the world's very base was formed. That explains the heavenly messengers arriving in your lowest valleys. That explains the visions at night carrying truths no one else comprehends. That explains why sacred whispers keep reaching you. Right here, as these words unfold, heaven is affirming your selection even now. And since you bear this selection, your home life was destined to feel anything but ordinary. They might ridicule your faith, brush off your holy moments, or label you as overly mystical, too focused on the eternal, too wrapped up in sacred matters. But dear chosen one, they miss the bigger picture. Your existence is an unfolding witness. You were never meant to merge with the shadows. You were summoned to shine brightly. And that shine starts right where the pain cuts deepest, in the circle where you hoped for the strongest backing. Pay close attention. Every figure marked by heaven in the ancient texts bore a similar seal. Joseph held visions in his heart that stirred such hatred in his siblings. They cast him into a hole and traded him away as a captive. David received the sacred oil as future ruler, yet his own kin dismissed him entirely, seeing him as the unlikeliest choice. The young herder overlooked, even for the ritual itself. Even the Son of Heaven, who walked among us, proclaimed that a voice from above finds no respect in its own dwelling. His very brothers withheld their trust until long after he triumphed over death. So why expect your path to unfold otherwise? Pushback from those nearest is not your downfall. It is the clearest evidence of your true nature. Beloved chosen one, carry that seal with unwavering assurance. Do not attempt to conceal it. Do not brush it aside with excuses. Do not dim its glow just to ease the discomfort of those around you. That radiance was assigned to you with intent. If they push you away, allow it. If they fail to grasp you, accept it. If they stand against you, view it as validation. You hold something holy that not all can bear. And this is precisely why those marked must step into their seal with fearless resolve, not offering regrets for the sacred touch, not retreating from the summons, not softening the truth to suit fragile tastes. If that sacred weight presses on your spirit in this instant, type one simple word in the comments. Yes, just yes. Let it stand as your pact with the eternal, affirming that you embrace your essence, the concealed cause behind kin's dismissal. Beloved chosen one, it is time to delve further. Why do those meant to champion you most fiercely now stand as your fiercest foes? Why does the haven of your blood ties resemble a war zone? Why do those sharing your heritage seem repelled by the very fate awaiting you? Hear this with care. The unspoken truth is that your mere existence uncovers what lies buried in them. The glow of one marked is not mute. It declares without speech. It proclaims without lectures. It challenges without blame. When you step into any space, the spiritual climate adjusts. When you walk carrying traces of angelic encounters, visions that arrived in the night, and sacred words spoken only to your heart, those around you register it, even when they have no language for what they feel, and because family members stand closest, they feel the shift most intensely. They witness you in unguarded moments. They carry memories of who you once were, yet they also detect that something irreversible has taken place inside you, something beyond their reach, beyond their control. Your radiance quietly uncovers their shadows. Rather than turning toward healing, many choose to turn against the light that revealed them. This is the difficult reality. People frequently reject whatever reminds them of what they have refused to become. When your days begin displaying signs of divine appointment, those nearby feel a conviction, not because you accuse, but because your simple presence acts like a mirror they never asked to face. They register the weight of the dreams you carry. They sense the holy moments that have reshaped you. They feel the change your encounters produced. And when they are unprepared to confront their own reflection, they aim their discomfort straight at you. That is the root of the accusations. You think you're better than us. You're too religious now. You're making it all up. That is why your history gets weaponized every time you dare speak of tomorrow. It is not proof that you are mistaken. It is proof that you are aligned, and your alignment disturbs whatever remains unhealed inside them. Your relatives, knowingly or unknowingly, become instruments of resistance. The enemy exploits their closeness as the ECT weapon. A stranger's rejection may sting for a moment. You can leave, forget, move on. But when rejection arrives from family, it pierces straight to the center of who you are. It causes you to question your worth, your memories, your very experiences with heaven. That is exactly the strategy darkness employs. The adversary understands that family rejection wounds far deeper than any outsider ever could. A casual stranger's dismissal is easy to shake off. But when the voices that raised you, the hands that fed you, the arms that once held you now rise in opposition, it reaches into the marrow of your identity. It plants seeds of doubt. Were those dreams really from God? Was that presence in the room just your mind playing tricks? Did heaven actually speak, or are you imagining things? One by one, the sacred memories you once held with certainty begin to waver under the pressure of repeated rejection. Chosen one, you carry divine utterances within your spirit. Every time truth slips from your lips, even in the most ordinary conversation, it quietly confronts the deceptions others have grown comfortable living inside. Every vision you've been entrusted with becomes a silent reflection of someone's buried wound or secret resistance. Every holy encounter you describe reminds those listening of experiences they have never known. And when people are not yet walking in light, your presence, even when you remain completely silent, feels like an accusation to their carefully constructed illusions of peace. This is why solitude often follows the marked ones. It is never punishment, it is divine preparation. Heaven is gently, but firmly, removing you from circles that cannot yet carry the gravity of what rests on you. The separation is purposeful. God is positioning you in a place where His voice becomes the only one you can clearly hear, a place where you learn to trust His declaration far more than human applause, a place where you accept that every true calling exacts a price. You cannot hold what you hold and remain hidden in the crowd. You cannot cradle night visions from heaven and still blend seamlessly with those who live only by daylight. You cannot host messengers of light and expect understanding from eyes trained only on the material. This solitude is deliberate. Throughout the ages, every true voice of heaven endured it. Moses wandered alone in the barren lands for 4 decades before the flame that never burned out called his name. Elijah found sustenance, ants from birds, in his hidden exile before he summoned flames from the skies. John, the one who announced the coming light, dwelled in the vast emptiness, cut off from the world's noise before he cleared the path for the promised one. Even the Savior himself retreated into the desolate wild for 40 long days before he launched his sacred work. The rhythm repeats without fail. Distance comes before rising. Solitude arrives before fresh insight. Pushback clears the way for true acknowledgement. The resistance from your kin is guiding you straight into that empty space where heaven longs to whisper without echoes from the world. In that silence, free from their constant pull, you will gain sharp vision for your true role. You will unlock the depths of those night visions in ways that stayed hidden while you chased their favor. Holy messengers will draw nearer more often, unhindered by their judgments clouding your focus, and those sacred words will pour in freely now that your inner world has settled enough to hold them. If these truths are stirring something deep inside you at this very moment, reach out in the comments below. Just type 333 if that sting of dismissal has come from the ones who share your blood. Together, we can forge a circle of marked souls who truly get this journey. Your words down there are not only for your own heart, they are for the weary traveler who stumbles upon them in the quiet hours ahead, feeling utterly isolated. They will discover they are far from alone. Your shared story in that space might just rescue someone's sacred path from fading away. How to handle the pushback from kin, beloved chosen one. With the roots of this resistance now laid bare, the vital step follows. What is your reply? For how you answer shapes whether this time crushes your spirit or carves it stronger. Here is part 9 approx. 300 words. Your answer decides everything. It determines whether this chapter crushes your spirit or forges it into something unbreakable. It decides whether you retreat from your summons or rise to meet it. It decides whether bitterness takes root or beauty blooms from the ashes. So listen carefully. These steps are not suggestions, they are lifelines for your destiny. First, embrace silence. When silence is the strongest reply. Not every charge demands a defense. Not every false story requires correction. Not every attack calls for retaliation. There will be moments when the most powerful response you can give is no response at all. Let your life become the living proof. Let your steady walk answer louder than any argument ever could. When they label you proud, let quiet humility speak instead. When they claim you think yourself superior, let humble service prove them wrong. When they accuse you of craving attention, let faithful obedience in hidden places reveal your true heart. When they scoff at your night visions, let time itself become the witness that confirms them. When they brush aside your holy encounters, let the visible fruit of your changed life stand as evidence they cannot ignore. When they question the sacred words you've received, let your faithful follow-through become the undeniable testimony. You are not assigned to persuade your bloodline of your identity. You are assigned to become exactly who heaven has already declared you to be. And when you fully inhabit that truth, those with hope and eyes will see it clearly. Those with closed eyes will stay blind, no matter how many words you pour out, so guard your peace fiercely. Protect the sacred flow that rests on you. Refuse to squander your strength trying to justify what heaven has already sealed. Second, set firm boundaries without apology. Family does not automatically receive unlimited access to your spirit simply because of shared blood. You must shield what God has entrusted to you. If their words leave you drained, reduce the hours spent in their presence. If their energy disrupts your stillness, create healthy distance. If their doubt begins to erode your trust, step back. This is not cruelty, this is stewardship. This is not rejection, this is responsibility. Your sacred gift is too valuable, your mission is too urgent. You cannot allow dysfunction to uproot what heaven is carefully cultivating. Third, answer with prayer instead of payback. When words cut against you, lift them up in prayer. When plans form to pull you down, stand in the gap and intercede for their freedom. When they secretly rejoice at your difficulties, ask heaven to open their blind eyes. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of spiritual warfare. Your real fight is never against flesh and blood. The true opposition is the invisible force that keeps trying to hijack your relatives to derail your destiny. So you fight on your knees. You fast for their release. You speak life and breakthrough over the very people who speak death over you, because your complete victory feels hollow if they remain trapped. And one day, when heaven finally lifts you high, you want hearts free enough to rejoice with you instead of resenting you. Fourth, answer with rock-solid consistency in your calling. Never allow their rejection to drag you off course. Never let their confusion cause you to fold your gifts away. Never let their ridicule silence the sacred words placed inside you. Keep praying, keep seeking, keep studying, keep growing. Let every night vision propel you. Let every holy encounter remind you that you walk with unseen company. Let every divine whisper fuel your next obedient step. When they call your devotion a waste of time, prove them wrong by refusing to quit. When they declare you will amount to nothing, let your quiet, steady progress become the answer. Chosen one, you have been shaped in the furnace of misunderstanding. You have been trained in the school of solitude. You have been marked, visited, spoken to and sent. The time for hiding is finished. The season of shrinking back is over. Your family's rejection was never the end. It was heaven's way of making sure nothing and no one could ever hold you back from the fullness of who you were created to become. You are chosen. You are called. You are ready. Rise now. Walk forward in holy boldness. Your destiny is already moving toward you.